space for conversation around women's health through the lens of naturopathic and Eastern medicine. I am Sandy Ross, and this is Her Earth Medicine Podcast. This podcast is multi-leveled. Episodes for patient education to graduate practitioner level. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you gain value from this episode. Today on the podcast, I have a very exciting topic for you. As practitioners of Chinese medicine, we understand slightly about this topic, but we're no experts. So I decided to source out two specialists from California to discuss all things Feng Shui. Lauren and Pamela are a mother-daughter business couple who have over 3 decades of combined experience working with Feng Shui. They have supported hundreds of clients and transformed their physical spaces through their exciting online coursework and learning tools. Their mission is to make Feng Shui accessible to everyone. So let's dive in, and I hope you enjoy this podcast episode. Welcome to the podcast, Lauren and Pamela.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
How are you guys doing over there in California?
Better now.
Yes, there's been a lot of things happening over there for you guys, but it's a great week, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
So, first of all, I want to start by getting you guys to just share a little bit about yourselves, how you got into Feng Shui, and your journey.
Go ahead, Mama. Well, I get asked that a lot. How did I get into Feng Shui? And as Lauren has heard over and over again, I've just recently figured out that Feng Shui found me.
Yeah.
I didn't find Feng Shui. And so it's really been with me for about 30 years. I have had careers in higher education and in healthcare. But really, Feng Shui has been something that I've wanted to practice as a full-time job. Practicality of that is that it really wouldn't buy the bacon, so to speak. So now I'm at a point in my career that I'm able to devote as much time as I really want to Feng Shui. Feng Shui for me is a calling. It called to me. And so I'm just delighted to be able to practice it, and especially with my daughter, Lauren.
Aww. Yeah, that's amazing. So how did, obviously, a mother with Feng Shui touch would obviously have a big influence on you, Lauren. How did you decide to choose the path?
Yeah, and she's a Virgo, so there's a whole other Virgo layer of being extra tidy. I think that it's an interesting blend. I think that I am less tidy for sure. I'm not a mess, but I'm less tidy. I think that I have more room to grow. I have a larger area of opportunity in the world of Feng Shui, if you will. But yeah, I think that I was by osmosis. My mom always says that I've been learning about this natural science and ancient art form. And the way that sort of our business, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in October.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is lovely. So fun. But I've been a goal coach, so it's kind of like a life coach, but we focus on goals. I've created a system and journal exercises, and I do a lot of speaking at retreats and host retreats. And we started doing events together, and it was very compartmentalized, where I would do the goal setting piece, because Lauren's goal setting, it's very 7 steps to goal setting, and I have my 3 buckets, and I walk everyone through that. And then everyone would sort of understand, okay, now I have my kind of one goal for the event that I want to work and play with. And then we'd have a lunch, and then it would go into Mom, and she would do the Feng Shui part. So our practice is unique, I think. With Feng Shui, we'll get into the definition, but you always want to work with intention. And what we realized is with my goal setting practice, where you're really crystallizing a goal and you're crystallizing the action plans and the blueprint to get there, right? Then we can go in and find where that goal lives energetically in your home, and we can get to work there. So it's like a supercharger to achieving what's most valuable to you in life, among many, many, many other things. So So I'm a goal coach. You can find me on Instagram at Wellness Vixen. That's kind of more my goal side, but Fengshuicollective is Mom and I, and it's been such a fun year. We were featured as the Spruce Top 10 Feng Shui Instagram accounts to follow. We've been featured in Voyage LA magazine. We've been on, I don't know, this might be our somewhere in 10 to 12 of podcasts. And so our mission is to make the planet a more beautiful place and help you accomplish your goals. And by being featured and, partnering with people like you, Sandy, we're able to spread the word of how practical and powerful Feng Shui is so that everyone can just live a delicious life.
Oh, that's
fun.
lovely.
Don't forget fun. We put the fun in Feng Shui.
Okay, so can you tell us what is Feng Shui?
Well, Feng Shui is translated as Chinese. Feng Shui has been around for thousands of years. It originally started by Chinese scholars trying to determine the best place to plant their crops. So Feng means wind, Shui means water. So what we like to say is that when the wind, or what you cannot see, sweeps over the water or what you can see, positive change occurs. So Feng is wind, Shui is water. So the magic of Feng Shui is putting the intention or your goals behind where those goals live energetically in your home.
Okay. And so what are the main reasons people come to you guys for Feng Shui? Is it for their home, their living spaces? Do they utilize it in other areas of their life as well? Just interested to know that.
Yeah, well, this year's been really unique. I think that people have been at home.
Yeah.
And they've been sort of faced with their clutter. So this year we've had some really unique opportunities. People are just sitting with and noticing their clutter. I think that there are a few reasons other than that. But really, the first is that something can feel off in a space where you walk into a bedroom or in your home and you're like, oh, I just don't like it here. It feels like I have tons of work to do, or I feel like, something feels yucky. That's one thing. And that was our last in-home consult. She had just bought a home and something felt off. And we had some really actually wild things happen, some breaking things while we were moving some energy, and that kind of thing can happen. The other thing is we notice people are just wanting to remedy some sort of imbalance. They're feeling particularly broke or particularly out of sorts in a romantic or platonic relationship. They're feeling like their business isn't getting recognition. So it's sort of like a problem-solving thing. Mm-hmm. And my mom always says there's many factors to the success of Feng Shui, like, your home environment is one, your karma, your education, your what's the other one, Mom? Your
luck.
Your luck, past experiences. So really, I think that Feng Shui is just a way for you to sort of more solidly solidify some good stuff happening in your life. So it's sort of like, here's the problem. It doesn't feel good. I don't have enough money. My romance is in the toilet, whatever. And then we can come in and always offer some positive change.
Okay.
I think that one thing that people do not understand is that Feng Shui is all about change. It's about the change you want to see in your life. It's not just about your space. That's the Shui.
Yeah, okay.
It's really about the Feng. So the client that Lauren was talking about that we visited about a week ago, we really got down. It's almost kind of a spiritual heart-to-heart conversation about, she knew something was off. But when she got down to her goals and when she started to articulate the things that were kind of, what's your system, Laura? Your worry, bother, your balance, bother?
Balance, bother.
Mm-hmm. Balance. You talk about, okay, what's in balance, what's bothering you. So we really get down to what's bothering you. And then we get to find that energetically in your home. And that's where the magic, that's where the karma, the education, the consequences of your actions. So all of those things are in line. That's when we see the most dynamic changes occur. But always, no matter what, you're going to see subtle changes. So we tell our clients, pay attention, because the changes that you see, and they're always positive, are going to, may not be exactly what you're looking for, but you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes. And one last note, we work in homes and offices, and, Mom has done universities. We're looking for hotel partnership projects. So small, tiny homes. We've done mobile homes, all the way up to really large scale projects. So, we can always help.
Okay, so it's obviously like very individualized, but what are some of the things that people could do that are listening to this podcast? Maybe, I think 2020, it's been a hectic year. People just want a little bit of calmness in their home. What are some of the main things? And I guess that's the shui part. Is that what you were saying, Pamela?
Yes.
Without having the goal.
I'll tell you how you can do it with the fun part.
Okay.
So the first thing that your listeners can do is to freshen up your entryway, because your entryway is where the chi, the energy, comes into your home. So get out there and clean it up. Lauren, you want to give more details on that?
Yeah, sure. So the entryway is called the mouth of chi, and it's basically like beginning from your driveway, like the street, to your driveway, all the way up all the way up the driveway to your main entryway. The main entry is the mouth of chi. If you don't enter in your main entry and you go through your garage, we recommend that you do periodically go through your main front entry, because that's really going to stir up some good energy. So pull everything off the entry. All the shoes, all the mats, all the brooms, all the, things that just accumulate, hose everything down, clean the windows. You can use some olive oil for the door jamb at the bottom of the door and shine that up. Can't remember if I said clean the windows, but yes, do that. Shake out your pillows. You can, and you're doing this with intention. So before you get to work on these projects, you do really want to sort of define an affirmation that you'll sort of recite in your head as you're working. So I am so grateful for all of the positive, uplifting energy, healthy energy that comes into my home and serves myself and my family. So you're just working with that. And, if you're someone that has affirmations, or you do journal work, or you write stuff down because you believe in the power of written word like we do, you're automatically sort of in the flow with Feng Shui, because you understand that your thoughts are powerful. Like, we are energy. The planet is energy. Things are energy. And we like to say that Feng Shui is like Reiki for your home. Reiki is aligning the energy centers of your body. Same with acupuncture. I mean, all about TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. So this is clearing the veins and the meridians of your home. Just like acupuncture and acupressure are working with the meridians of your body.
Okay.
So yes, entryway project is a big, big biggie.
Can I just ask on that? So when you say to clean the shoes up, because I think when I think of every person's home that I know, there's shoes at the front door. Do you mean get rid of them, put them somewhere else? Or I read a Zen book and it actually just talked about having the shoes in alignment.
We've had, I think so Feng Shui is also very, like you said, it's personal, and we want it to be practical for you and your family. So our client before the last one, she has a no-shoe household, which I think is very common. And we ended up setting her up with a basket at the front door that was sort of hidden behind a plant. So all the shoes went in there instead of sort of just being randomly strewn across the stoop. If aligning them feels good to you outside your front door and it doesn't feel like clutter, absolutely. Because another really big part of Feng Shui is it's about what you see and what you feel and experience. So if you walk up to your front door and you see shoes and, it looks unkempt, it looks dirty, it looks like, oh my gosh, I need to get my stuff together, that's going to lower your energy. But if you see something that's beautiful and tidy, and in good working condition, that's going to lift your spirit. So whatever you see, especially at your entryway and immediately when you enter into your home, you want to make sure that that's really pleasant so that you're vibrating higher when you walk into your space.
Okay, so you could use a little cabinet or something like that to put the shoes in. Okay.
Yeah, whatever works. We just don't like shoes thrown across because clutter is stuck energy.
Totally.
And we know you're a mama, and I know that, you have one kiddo?
Two. I have two.
You're two. So clutter's hard with two kiddos, 100%. But as long as you're moving stuff around and you're doing your best to keep the energy flowing in your home, you're gonna feel the difference.
Cool. Oh, sorry, something's just come up here. I'm just getting rid of that. Now, the entryway, so like you walk through the door and then there's the entryway. How should that look? Because I've heard things about, have a mirror as you walk in to see yourself, the reflection. If there's plants there, like should it be an easy flowing space? If there's cabinets, should we be moving them? Talk to us about that.
Yours.
Well, the entryway needs to reflect you and your family. So mirrors, are very powerful. There's a lot of energy in a mirror, and it may or may not be appropriate at the entryway. It really depends on your space. So there really aren't any shoulds, Sandy.
Yep.
It's really about what feels good to you when you walk in. We had a client who was going through a remodel in her home, and all the paint cans and the brushes and the rollers and the tools were stacked up by her front door. So every time she walked in her front door, she was reminded of how much more work still needed to be done, which is a real energy bummer. So we did, when we do in homes, we always put our gloves on and we get to work a little bit in at least one area of the home, and then our clients have a list of things that they can go through later. But what we did for her was we cleared all those paint cans and put them in an area where the workmen were actually working. And we cleared off a little credenza. She had a little Buddha. We added a lamp. We dusted everything off. I think we added a rug. So, and some pictures of her family. And so when she walks into her home now, she's lifted up because it is so pretty.
I love that. And I guess a lot of kids... Go on.
Can I piggyback on that really quick, Sandy?
Go on.
And Mom? So I just want to make it clear that we practice the BTB or Black Hat sect of Feng Shui. So BTB is Black Tibetan Buddhist sect, or BTB or the Black Hat sect. There's many, many schools of Feng Shui. This is what we practice. So our primary tool, and your listeners can't see this right now, but it's called a bagua mat. We actually just had
I know this.
We were on a podcast, and she's also a designer, and she designed a brand new bagua mat for us that's much prettier. So this is a tool that we use to lay over the top of your home to determine the energy centers. So a lot of the times, when you're talking about the entryway, it's important to know, is it your personal growth area? Is it your career area? Or is it your helpful people and travel area? And when Mom says, it's not necessarily a should with a mirror, we work with cures, Feng Shui cures that are relevant and powerful to these energy centers. So it really does depend on where you enter your home. There are a few general Feng Shui cures that are, like a faceted crystal will always sort of vibrate and fire up the energy in a space. And, a candle will always represent the fire element. So that's the other thing I wanted to show you. We work with the 5 elements, and you might know about these from TCM, but these are really important. So if you walk into a home and something feels off, maybe there's too much wood element. And something to counteract that, when we walk into a space, we're like, whoa, hello, wood. There's so much wood. We would add, some fire or some water to calm down. So there's controlling and nurturing cycles of the 5 elements. And I don't want to get too deep. Like, there's many layers to this, but it is very individualized. When we say, what everyone can do to really uplift the energy in their home is do their front entry. Also, close your bathroom door, close the toilet lid, because Feng Shui is full of metaphors, and if you think about bathrooms, they are full of drains, and we don't want energy going down any drains. The goal of and how you want the chi to flow through your house is like a river, not getting stuck in corners or in clutter or in spider webs or in dirt or going down any drains. It's like this nice circle. And likewise, that's happening above and below you while you sleep.
Okay.
So no underbed storage.
Okay, that's a good segue to the bedroom. What are some of the things, like pictures above beds? What's the other one? The position of the bed, windows. Are there some, I guess you're saying there's nothing you should do, but are there some recommendations you would say to generalize the calmness or good sleep in the bedroom?
Well, you want to locate your bed on an interior wall so that you feel protected. So that said, you can't always have your bed located on an interior wall because it doesn't make any sense. And so if you can't, then what we recommend is that you put something over your bed that is protective. Like, for example, over my bed, which is on an exterior wall, I have a large Japanese fan. Now, what the fan represents is protection, because years and years ago, the fan was used as a weapon. It had pointed knives at the end of it. Women used it as a form of protection. And so something that would connote protection to you. Design-wise, you want it to be of a good scale, but you do not want it to be heavy because you don't want to have to worry about something falling on your head while you're sleeping. A large dream catcher might be really appropriate, a piece of macrame art, something like that. Also, take a look from the door as you're standing and looking in your room. Does the door directly face your bed, or does the door cut across your bed as you're looking at it? That could be a problem if it does for your health or your good sleep, because the energy is coming in the door. And just pretend it's wind. If it's wind coming in the door and it's going across your feet, across your abdomen, across your head, then you could have problems with those areas of your life. Likewise, if there is a beam directly over your head, that is an energy. That is Sha-Qi. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you have, let's talk about the door. If your door is located at any of those places, think in relation to your bed, think about, can you shift your bed one way or the other to get it out of alignment with the door? You should be able to see the door as you put your head on your pillow and look, but the door should not be cutting across any part of your body. If you can't avoid that, then the Feng Shui cure that we recommend is to hang a crystal over the doorway, a faceted crystal, because the facets of that crystal are going to deflect that energy so it's not rushing in and across you. Now, if you have a beam over your bed, I had a client who had a beam directly going over the center of her bed, and she was having marital problems. So energetically, that beam was cutting right between she and her partner. Wow. So what do you do about that? I know that it's popular in design. You see it on television all the time to have beams. Yeah. And design-wise, they are really pretty. But in the bedroom, if I had a beam, I would paint it the same color as the ceiling, so that energetically it just blends right in. In children's rooms, we had a client who's had her child's bed situated directly under a staircase that was right over the bed. So think about the energy just rushing downward over her child's
slanted, like a slanted, yeah.
So in that case, we added a flute, which was energetically lifts up that slant. Is kind of fun for the little girl. She's only 6, I think, so she didn't think it was weird at all. Some people
and not a brass flute, a bamboo flute.
Okay, yep. Where did you put it? On the beam?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just like a thumbtack.
Okay, yeah, right.
So they come when you buy a Feng Shui flute, and you can get them. We have a little Amazon store on our website that we get like 3 pennies if you buy it from us. But you can Google search Feng Shui flute, and they have a red ribbon tied at each end so that you can hang them from the ribbon.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's very interesting. Just on the bed aspect, a lot of people, excuse the neighbour's dog, a lot of people here in Australia particularly are drying out foliage, and they're sort of pinning the foliage. What's going on with the dog there? They're pinning the foliage kind of like, yeah, they're just tacking it above their bed or to the side of the bed. No, okay. It's a big trend
and the
here.
reason, think about it, Sandy, it's dead.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you wanted to do silk flowers, that's a different story.
Okay.
That's fine.
My sister's not going to
But-
like this.
Dried flowers in Feng Shui are just not a good idea because it's, they're dead.
Yeah, no, I've heard this before. And that's all dried flowers, they kind of represent that dead energy. Because we are big on drying natives here and having them in our home in Australia.
Well, I think too, it's very on trend to have like the pampas grass.
Eucalyptus, have you seen that?
What's that?
The eucalyptus. It dries beautifully.
The eucalyptus in a shower, I think, is great. I think in the shower it serves an aromatic, it's aromatic. It's releasing its oils and its scent in the hot water. But in a bedroom, like, you don't want anything stale and dead.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it in your living room, maybe another story. Like I said, if you see something and it really lifts you up, like if you see that pampas grass or you see, the dried fern or whatever, there's so many trends right now. If that really lifts you up, then keep it. But in the bedroom, maybe not.
Okay.
So we always say that we can give you suggestions. And so we may suggest that, it's really not a good idea to have that dead energy hanging around the house. But if in your heart of hearts, it's something that you love and it brings you joy, then don't listen to us.
Yeah.
Follow your intuition first.
It is. It's your intuition. Yeah, we just make suggestions based on the principles of this natural science. But, everyone is different. Every space is different. We all have different needs and goals. And, like Mom said earlier, sometimes there's just no way you're ever going to be able to put a bed on an interior wall. You just can't.
Yeah.
And so what we like to say is that there's always a cure. There's a cure for that.
Yeah.
There's always a cure. And like we said, cures can be crystals, they can be bamboo flutes, they can be, candles, they can be plants, they can be something from the 5 elements. There's always a cure for that. So
Okay, yeah.
fear not.
So I love the 5 element aspect. I'm quite curious to know just some of the things you use there. So you've touched on the candle for fire and maybe plants and wood, obviously, for wood. Is that correct? Water.
Yeah, plants for wood.
What would you use for water? Is that like a little...
So water is the color black.
Okay.
Or physical water features like water fountains.
Yeah.
And then the shape of water is like a flowing sort of shape. So if there any artwork depicting anything sort of flowing, like just think of how water flows. It's sort of an abnormal shape. So yeah, black, and then mirrors and glass are also very much in the water element. So the problem, what we tend to see in bathrooms, just circling back to bathrooms, they're very white, right? Which is the metal element.
Oh, okay, yeah.
White,
Yep.
yes. I think there's a lot of like white porcelain. There's a lot of like white showers and white bathtubs and white
Toilets, yep.
walls. And so that's all in the metal element. And then you have the water element because you have sinks and you have toilet and you have shower, right? And so we tend to find that bathrooms, and also here's another thing I just want to mention, like, I think that maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more in a sec, but you know, these interiors with these very crisp white, white dominant designs. It's the white walls, it's the white couch, the white pillows, the white,
it's the Gold Coast
fluffy poof. We love that. We think it's beautiful, but there has to be some balance of the 5 elements. So I digress. The bathrooms are typically metal and water dominant. And so what we look at with the 5 elements is like, okay, what will slow down the water? And that's wood, because wood will drink the water and grow the wood into larger plants. So we really, 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 really love plants in the bathroom. And then to slow down the metal, we use earth. The earth element and the fire element. Basically, the other 3 elements are great for bathrooms. So that's earth, fire, wood.
So what are the things, because I know earth's yellow, what are you using for earth elements?
Earth is yellow, yeah. So we're looking at perfect squares for shapes. We're looking at earthenware, like pottery and clay pots.
Awesome.
And then, and then soil and sand. So if you see those really pretty vases and they have, soil and sand or seashells in it, anything, from the earth or the sand, dirt, rock. And then, horizontal surfaces are also, so that's kind of good because you already have horizontal surfaces in your bathroom. But really, I think when I did this to my own bathroom, it was like candles, things in the fire element. They're triangular shape in the fire element. So candles, triangles, and plants. And keeping the bathroom closed, bathroom door closed, especially, so my bathroom is at the end of a hallway. And in Feng Shui, the hallways of your home are like the veins of your home.
Yeah.
So placing a small mirror over the top of your bathroom door so that it just straight up reflects the energy back into your home and you're not worrying about anything going down the drain.
Okay.
But if you can't do the mirror, you can close the door and keep the toilet lid closed. We also have a client that put like a handful of sea glass in each of her bathroom sinks. So the water and the soap just runs over the sea glass and it kind of slows it down.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying this podcast episode on Feng Shui with Lauren and Pamela as much as I am. We chatted a little bit longer than we thought we would, so we decided to break it into 2 episodes. So simply click out and tune into the next episode on the podcast to continue to the conversation. Otherwise, you can find the girls at the Fengshuicollective on their social medias. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I have been a practitioner of naturopathic and Chinese medicine for over a decade. I have a master's degree of health science and I am an academic lecturer at Australia's leading natural medicine college. I am available worldwide online for bookings. Simply go to sandyrosshealth.com.